Right now, one of our challenges is getting the guys there. Anytime we have a competition or something, everybody comes. But the days in between and things like that, we see low numbers, and our off-season program needs the most work. Players change themselves and become who they are in the off-season, and our culture right now at Allen is missed off-season to just come the first day of football. So we're working on changing that through things with disciplinary probation, and I meet with the parents now any moment that I can, trying to build a stronger bond with the parents. So I would have to say the most surprising thing is there's been this stigma that Allentown people don't care about their kids, and it's not true. So I am surprised that when I do reach out, that they're ready to be a group and try to better their children. So that's been exciting.
Coach Brooks?
Just like Joel said, I think the challenge for us, or for our program, has been getting the kids to come. You start out when you first got hired, you put a little roster or your sheet out there who wants to sign up, and you get all these numbers, and then you start a little summer workouts, and then it's like, some come here, some come there. So that's been a really challenging thing for me, for our whole program, really. But but like the kids that are there, they're stepping up to the plate, doing what they got to do. I know they're reaching out to their buddies and, come on and play, let's go, let's get it going. But I guess the plus side of that, really, I've been trying to, keep the parents at least up to date as far as, what's going on with this program. I don't want to really put anybody in the shadows. I'm a person that's out and open, so I want to make sure our parents understand things. And the parents is most of the job. The parents have been on board with everything that's been going on in the program, so that's good to see that.
You both are part of schools that had great traditions. I mean, Wilson, it seemed like we were spending the early 2000s covering Wilson every week in a playoff game because they were not only winning, but they were scoring a lot. They were fun to watch and running deep in the state playoffs. And of course, Allen's history goes back decades, well before I was even born, and even more recently, like 10, 15 years ago, they still had really quality programs. But I'm going to ask this question. I know some people are going to get mad at me because, like, Cottingham Stadium has this tradition. But there's a lot of kids out there that don't understand tradition. They don't, okay, well, 20 years ago this happened, so what? How does it affect me? How do you try to talk about the tradition at all, or do you see that kids are like, the tradition thing doesn't work. We have to start here and now. We can't say, 20, 25 years ago you did this, so now you have to do it. And it doesn't seem to fly a lot of times.
With us, it's a little harder because there hasn't been a winning tradition for a little while now. So I think one of the things that I think is going to benefit our program this year is I'm bringing a younger coaching staff that can kind of relate to the guys more, and not that I won't take pride in Allen's tradition, but we have to create our own new traditions.
Yeah. Lloyd, do you kind of feel similar?
Yeah, I mean, for Wilson, anybody that knows, Wilson, they did have their runs, state titles, all that. Like I tell everybody, I'm not rebuilding that program. It's bringing back the tradition that was lost. But just like Joel said, we're bringing back the tradition, but we're now doing our own tradition to it.
Yeah.
But really, and I'm starting to see it through my the kids' eyes and stuff, because they're out there competing, working hard, in these 95-degree weather, you know what I mean? So for us, it's just, how are we going to want this year to be?
Yeah.
We got to set the tone, we got to set the tempo, and get all the community behind us, and just, bring that tradition that was gone, that was lost.
Yeah.
There's we have a lot of great athletes in that school, on this program. So it's just, I think, like I said, we pull a couple wins out here and there, it'll start to come back.
How much of an advantage is it for the both of you to be ingrained in your communities? I mean, Joe, you're a lifetime Allentonian, you know all about the tradition, but you also know some of the current challenges that kids are dealing with. And Lloyd, you're in the Wilson area too. You know that some of the problems that Wilson has had in previous years, and you're right there, so you understand those things going in.
Yeah. It is tough. It's definitely tough. I know. I don't know about Joel, but I know for being Wilson, all the things that they've gone through the last couple years, really, to me, and what I tell my kids, we can't worry about all that. We can only take care of right now, what's in front of us now. We got to just keep going forward. We'll try to work all those things out as we're moving on. You know, again, we're coaching every day. We're on and off the field with these kids. You know, and they just got to buy in. They buy in, it'll be that much sweeter. You know.
Joel, what are some of the challenges that your team's facing and your kids are facing in particular?
Well, I just, Allentown football in general, I always told myself I wouldn't go coach somewhere, especially a spot that was already established. I really want to take pride in starting from the bottom and trying to grow somewhere. And you asked earlier about if it was a hard transition to Allen, and it wasn't, because we're still on the same field, you know, which I consider my house. So it doesn't matter, you know, what side of the field on we're there. But and just Allentown in general, I don't think that many schools are too different from each other. They all face the same challenges and things like that. So I just am in love with Allentown football and trying to build it into a real program.